Hey boys, back in action tomorrow. Look, we've got a chance to rectify the poor result at Old Trafford, right? We're coming off a poor week. Everyone knows that. If you're a Chelsea fan, it's not been fun. You can look behind me. I've been listening to OK Computer, okay? So we're a bit down bad at the moment, but moving on. This is a chance to get a bit more morale and confidence back into the team, regardless of opposition. A win is a win. It's a chance to rotate, maybe give some of the academy boys a chance to feature and/or start. This is a game we should be putting multiple goals behind them, right? We should be winning this comfortably. Should be a dominant performance. If it isn't, there's only going to be more question marks against Maresca, right? But to be honest, I have full faith we're gonna go away there uh, and win comfortably. Even though the fans will be up for it and they'll try and make it a hostile environment. The brutal reality is, they're League One. They're in a bit of decent form, right? They've just come off beating Luton. And I think they got 2 wins. They've drawn a few games, but regardless, even if they were flying in League One, top of the table, it's League One. It's not even Championship, right? So we should be able to rotate heavily, and we should also be able to still have our same style of play, and we should win comfortably, regardless, right? So before we go into who I think would start and play, we do have some updates from Maresca, right? Came out and gave a few injury updates, so we can go through that now. So in the moment, Asugo and Lavia are injured, so we cannot give Caicedo a rest. I don't think it's random the amount of injuries we have, alluding to the Club World Cup. And then also, they're not back for this game, unfortunately. They both took part in the session yesterday. Hopefully, they'll be available soon. And also with Palmer, we know he's got that reoccurring groin injury. So he won't feature and he shouldn't travel anyway. They should just stay in London. There's no point in them travelling. We should be able to win it comfortably without them, right? So you can look at our injuries here. Midfield wise, we are looking a bit short. It would be nice if Asugo didn't have surgery and he was out for months. Same with Lavia. Lavia just can't stay fit. He comes back, plays 40 minutes of football, and he's injured again. He's in the same sort of breath as Fofana for me. This is the last season really that I have full trust in them. They can't stay fit again this season. We have to move them on because otherwise it's a joke. This is another position that we need a body, we need depth in, and if these guys can only play one game and they're back to being in the physio room, that's a clear problem, and we need to rectify that and move on from it, right? So for the game for Lincoln, this is the team I've gone with. So let me know what you think as well. I've gone with Jorgensen in goals. Obviously, he'll start. We don't have anyone else to play. Sanchez is banned, but it does mean Sanchez will be back for the Premier League game. So Jorgensen should play anyway. We should have the backup keeper play in the cup competitions, right? So need to have a good performance from him. Didn't play very well in Old Trafford, but you can tell, being a goalkeeper is a bit of a confidence position. So you never know. We keep a clean sheet. He has a decent performance. Maybe there can be some competition with Sanchez, but I don't see it. Obviously, I'd go Malo Gusto at right back. Reece James shouldn't even travel with the squad, to be honest. He should be staying in London. We're going to need him fit for Brighton on Saturday. So Gusto can start there. And he can also, have license to bomb forward. I would have this three-man centre-back partnership. So these guys sort of form the three, and then Gusto has license to just bomb forward, invert, whatever Maresca wants him to do, right? But he shouldn't have much defending duties, if at all. We should be dominating possession anyway. Fofana starts. I did think potentially he was coming off injured, but it was because he was tired. So he's going to need to play this game, right, to gain fitness. He shouldn't be tired playing against Lincoln away. He hasn't played much football, yes, but he's a centre back. He's not even doing that much running. So for him to be subbed off because he was tired was a bit bizarre. You're getting paid so much money. Your cardio should be decent, right? So again, he has to stay fit. If he can't stay fit, we got to get rid of him in the summer and just accept we're going to take a loss. For me, I've lost a lot of confidence in Fofana. Used to quite like him as a player, but he's been annoying me. He can't stay fit, and his mentality, he just seems a bit weak and feeble. So he should have a good performance anyway. It's Lincoln. It's easy opposition for him. So we should be keeping a clean sheet, right? Chong Pyong has to start. If he doesn't start, then there's something behind the scenes going on. I don't understand how he can play good against Crystal Palace, right? and we don't even see him since. No 5 minute cameo off the bench, nothing. Uh, this is a talented centre back. He can play, the hybrid role at right back as well. Like he's a modern day defender, comfortable on the ball, good dribbler. So yeah, he has to start. And I'd like to see what him and Fofana sort of partnership can look like as well. To be honest, I'd probably go for Brighton. A Chompiong Chalobah would what I would like to see, but I don't think a Chompiong will play. It'll probably be Chalobah Fofana. But let's see how a Chompiong gets on. If he has a good performance, I want him playing against Brighton. The talent is there. I just don't see why he hasn't been playing more, right? And I think most Chelsea fans would agree. It's been a bit weird and bizarre that we haven't seen more of him. Obviously, I go Joel Hatto. Cucurella needs a rest. We need him for Brighton. I would have Cucurella travel, though. If we're struggling for whatever reason, he can come on, and that attacking presence should mean we go on to win the game. So I would have him on the bench, just to be safe. But I wouldn't play him, or if we're winning, I wouldn't sub him on either. Up right back as well, we could have Genesis and Twee play there, but I think, Gusto needs the game time, so I would play him, but I wouldn't be opposed to Genesis maybe starting as well. I do like him. He's another attacking right back that, would definitely fit the system. And from what we've seen on him as well, when he played in the conference, he did look like a player. I like him in the academy, so I think he should be on the bench, but whether he starts or not will be, remain to be seen. Joel Hatto should have a good performance, though. Again, we're going to be dominating possession. No, I'd probably have him more defensive. We did see him inverting into midfield, and I don't know if he's quite ready for that role yet. Let's just keep him as that inverted defender, form that three-man partnership, and let's get him less of the ball. I think that to try and make him do Cucurella's role, invert into midfield, or even get into the final third, but it's just a bit too much. Let's just bed him in a little bit. Let's have him playing as a defender, first and foremost, before we push him up the field, right? Would go Andre Santos. I thought Andre Santos, when he came on at Old Trafford, plays quite well. It was obviously difficult circumstances, but one of the players that did actually try. I wanted him to start over Enzo anyway. Enzo probably shouldn't be travelling with the squad. He should stay home. We're going to need him fit for Brighton because he'll probably start that game. I don't think he should. He's in poor form. I think we need to be quite harsh on our players. If they're not up to the level, if they're not performing, or if they look tired, we need to bench them because there's no point just playing him because of his name. It's not working, right? So Andre Santos for me definitely starts. I think he should have a good performance and dominate the midfield, to be honest. And then there's no one else really to play this role, right? So it depends how we might line up. Potentially he'll just have Joel Hatto playing inverted, and we won't use a pivot, so to say, or we'll have someone maybe progressing into a double 10. It depends how, Maresca wants to line up. We shouldn't play Caicedo. He needs the rest. He's playing every game, 90 minutes, so he needs to rest. He needs to stay home. We don't have Asugo. He's injured. We don't have Lavia. He's not fully fit. And we shouldn't play Enzo. He needs to rest as well. So we don't really have anyone else to play in midfield. So I would go with Raksaki. From what we've seen last season as well, he's a decent player, quite tidy on the ball. And I think he warrants a start. It's League One opposition. If anything, he's clearly championship level. So this shouldn't be a hard game for him. I think he should start. And it could be a decent partnership, that. Obviously, for right wing, I'd go Estevao. Basically was rested, right, for the Old Trafford game. He thought he was starting. And due to... I wasn't opposed to him being subbed off, but I thought Neto being subbed off was bizarre. So he played 5 minutes, basically didn't feature. So he's fresh. He's basically fully fit, right? So I'd like him to play. This could be the game, he gets a goal or two as well, which would do him a world of good for his confidence and to get started at Chelsea, right? He's already got the assist. Just needs him to go out and get a goal now. And this could be the perfect game for him to, get some goals in him, and if not, maybe get a few assists. But that confidence is only going to help, especially because we should have him starting against Brighton as well. But I would go Buonanotte in the middle, playing as that 10. Palmer isn't fully fit; he's still got that groin issue, and obviously we need him for Brighton. And Buonanotte, this should be, he should be sort of dictating the play in this sort of game. If we get him on the ball, I think he should be having a good game. Looked, decent in the one half we saw him. You can tell he's sort of a Maresca player. Whether or not he's going to be Chelsea standard. We don't know yet, but for me, he would start, and let's see what he can do, right? And then Garnacho on the left. Garnacho was apparently meant to come on for the United game, but because Fofana said he was tired, he went for Gusto instead, and then Tyreek George came on, so he didn't even feature, which for me was really bizarre, and for most Chelsea fans, why Garnacho didn't even come on was really weird, right? So for me, definitely needs to start. Maybe Tyreek George plays or Gittins plays, but I think Garnacho on the left, you could stat pad in this game, get a goal or two, uh, and really build some confidence from there. And he needs to play, right? He hasn't played much at United, wasn't really training properly because obviously he was looking to force his way out of the club. So he needs to play, needs to build match fitness. And if it isn't working after 60, 65 minutes or whatever, we can bring Gittins on, or we could bring maybe Tyreek George on. So Garnacho should start. And again, I think this team is more than capable of pitting multiple goals behind Lincoln, quite comfortably. And then I would go Schwernwaker up top as well. If anyone didn't know, Mark Gay is cup tied because he played for Sunderland, so he's not even travelling with the squad. He's cup tied, he can't play at all. So otherwise I would have him starting there, obviously. But I think this is a perfect opportunity for Schwernwaker. He's playing really well in the academy. Just look at his numbers. He's absolutely banging them in goals-wise. We saw him, feature a couple times last season coming off the bench, but I think he should start. Let's see what he's made of. League One, he should be ready for League One, in my opinion. He could probably do okay in the Championship. So to play against a decent League One opposition, senior football, playing against men, not in the under-21s, will definitely help him. We don't really have anyone else to play striker. We could play Tyreek George up top, but I think Moika's got the potential. He's got all the talent there. We might as well use him and see what he's made of, right? Again, if he's playing poorly, at least he played 50, 60 minutes of senior football, right? That's better than him just sitting on the bench and travelling with the squad. And if it's not working, we can always sub on Tyreek George, or we can maybe go someone false nine, maybe Garnacho, Buonanotte, something like that, just to change it up a little bit. But I think he's more than capable to start this game, and I'm predicting a dominant win, right? It's the perfect opportunity now. We're coming off a bad week, obviously 2 losses in a row, dropped points to Brentford. It's only Lincoln. We can't get too excited, if we win 5-0 or whatever. We can't go and rave and shout about it too much. We got to understand the opposition we're playing against, right? But it's a chance to just build some confidence back into the squad. We can get some of the academy players to get some senior minutes, right? And play with the big boys. And if nothing else, we can learn a bit more about the players. We can see who's ready and who's not. But for me, most of the main players, they do need to be rested because home at Brighton isn't going to be easy. Even though Spurs dominated them and should have won that game, we're in poor form. So if we can go out Lincoln with a second string team, beat them comfortably, it brings, going into this game, we've got a bit of confidence, something about us, right? And we definitely need to win this game. And then obviously we got Benfica next as well after that. We need to be going into these games in good confidence. If it's a toxic atmosphere, we're at home now, we're not travelling away after this Lincoln game, right? So we need a bit of confidence. We need the fans, to be supportive. Otherwise, if we're going into these games losing and it's toxic, it's only going to go downhill, right? So for me, I'm predicting quite a dominant win against Lincoln. It should be at least 3-0, and that's being quite kind. But at least a 3-goal cushion. We should go out there, we should win, comfortably. And I wouldn't be opposed to maybe Kavuma McQueen or some of these sort of talented players in the academy to maybe come off the bench and make their senior debut as well. I wouldn't start him, I don't think he's quite ready yet. And we've got Gittins, Garnacho, even Tyreek George ahead of him probably. But for sure, someone of that calibre and other players, maybe Genesis Antwi and players like that, for sure should come off the bench if we're winning comfortably, right? But that's my prediction anyway, boys. I'll see you tomorrow after the game. Up the Chelsea. Come on, this should be a win, right? I think we're all in agreement here. This should be a win. But if it's not, you'll see my reaction tomorrow. So peace, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.